Hey there guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cerise Fairfax, and today we're going to talk about possible pitfalls in your real estate purchase contract in the Dominican Republic. Now, this is a very important topic here. I have been dealing in the real estate industry here for the last 5 years, whether it comes to renting or buying, selling. It really comes down to the contract. You know, anything that you sign, it is binding here in the Dominican Republic. And we're going to get into that right now. All right. Possible pitfalls in your real estate purchase contract in the Dominican Republic. I got this from Dominican Today. The most critical part of the real estate buying process in the Dominican Republic is reviewing the purchase contract. In the Dominican Republic, as with most countries, an agreement between two parties is binding as long as it does not violate the country's laws. So once you've signed the purchase contract, you're obligated to whatever terms you've agreed to. Many foreigners like to do the do-it-yourself or DIY route to save money when reviewing and negotiating purchase contracts. And if you're going to go at this alone, especially buying property outside of your home country, you'll ultimately end up agreeing to some unfavorable terms and clauses. I'll get more to that later. I have some stories for you guys. To avoid any issues, retain an attorney specializing in real estate in the DR. I'll get to that as well. Here are 5 purchase contract details that buyers and their attorneys must pay attention to. Guys, these 5 points are very important for you to keep in mind. Write them down. 1. The contract language. We'll go over everything afterwards. First, just write down these 5 points. 2. Force majeure. 3. Developer penalties. 4. 1-year guarantee. 5. Agreed to versus delivered unit size. Now let's go into the contract language. Developers in the Dominican Republic will often present English-speaking buyers with contracts in Spanish. Whether you have an attorney or not, you need to request an English version of the purchase contract. You've got to be able to read and understand what you are signing. Force majeure. Force majeure applies to acts of godlike earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, or lightning strikes. However, some developers may include things like construction permit delays or subcontractors not delivering on time in the force majeure clause in the contract. These types of incidents do not apply to force majeure, and your attorney should insist on getting these types of stipulations removed. Guys, you want to make sure that if it's an earthquake, if it's something that's a flood, a hurricane, lightning strikes, those are normal God-like conditions. But when it comes to people conditions, you definitely do not want to be waiting on somebody that can't deliver because of their subcontractors or because of other delays that's on their end, human-like delays. You want to make sure that you put it in your contract with your attorney that no matter what, they have to deliver your goods on time if there is no hurricane, if there is no godlike occurrences. Developer penalties. You want to purchase a unit and the developer says they plan to deliver it by January 2024. What happens if construction is delayed for a year and you get your unit January 2025? Well, your attorney should negotiate penalty terms with the developer if construction is delayed. I'm going to repeat that for you guys because this happens a lot here. People are delayed. Your attorney should negotiate penalty terms with the developer if construction is delayed. How would you calculate the penalty amount? If you were planning to use the unit as a short-term rental, you're missing out on months of potential rental income. So your attorney would use your projected monthly rental losses due to the delay to negotiate penalty terms with the developer. Do you get that? So if you buy a place and your rent is going to be $900 a month to rent it out to people on Airbnb or booking.com, no matter where it is, you will be able to get a rebate on that money, so to speak. Okay, because you do know you will be able to rent it out for that much, a brand new unit. And if it is held off for an entire year, that would be $900 a month times 12. And that's what would be the penalty fee. Okay, 1 year guarantee. In Dominican law, there is a 1 year guarantee on new builds. So, suppose there are issues, structural, plumbing, electrical, etc., within 1 year after delivery of your unit. In that case, the developer is obligated to remedy and repair regardless of the cost they incur. Guys, that is very important for you to know. However, in some instances, developers may have a construction guarantee clause in the purchase and also in the purchase contract that goes up to 3 to 6 months only. And if you or your attorney misses that and you sign that contract, you've just agreed to give up to 6 to 9 months of the guarantee period that the law allows to you. So make sure you look at that. Okay, it is called the 1 year guarantee. It's very important for you to know this. Agreed to versus delivered unit size. There are some cases, specifically if you buy in pre-construction, where the developer will have a clause in the contract that says if there is a variation in the size of the unit upon delivery, the price stays the same. So if you purchased, in other words, agreed to a 300 square meter, which is 3,229 square feet, condo at $120,000 or $400 per square meter in pre-construction, and at delivery your unit is 250 square meters, which is 2,690 square feet, you'd still be on the hook for $120,000, and you're getting 50 square meters less. And that is 538 square feet less than you agreed to. That's a $20,000 loss in per square meter terms. So you have to be sure that you are on point and on key with everything. Guys, I know some stories here that I have heard from people where they buy on their own trying to save money and they get themselves in a pickle. And you want to make sure that you are not cutting corners when you're buying something that is a budget, especially if you're on a budget or not. But you don't want to be cutting corners. A lot of people will say, well, I don't trust the lawyers, I don't trust attorneys. You just need to contact some people that can get you a good attorney. I have a very good attorney, and he has an office here in Sosua and an office in Puerto Plata. He has his whole entire family that works with real estate and criminal, and what he calls a buffet of lawyers. Okay, so this is something that's really important for you to keep in mind when it does come to getting yourself a lawyer. You find one that you can trust and you hold on to that one. The language in the contract is so necessary. A lot of people, they do come to me and they'll be like, Cerise, I need a translator. I need to get this translated, before I sign it. And it should be the developer that does that for you. I have a lot of people that will come to me. They're putting some money into a lot of homes pre-construction, and they're nervous. They're scared. They don't know if they can trust the developer. They don't know if it's going to go belly up. They don't know much. And on top of it, they don't speak Spanish. So I cannot stress to you more than anything, make sure the language on the contract is translated into your language. No matter what your language is, you can get that translated. And most times, if you can't find someone that speaks your language, whether it's German or Chinese or something of that nature, you can pay somebody online to translate it. Maybe even get one of those AI apps. I don't know if an AI app can translate a language. It's just an idea I'm putting out there right now. But there is a way that you can get more information on the contract in your language, and you should definitely go about doing that. Of course, when it comes to point number 2, you want to make sure that godlike forces, of course, are understood. Hurricanes, lightning strikes, anything that is like an earthquake that's going to affect the construction and you have no control over it. But when the developer is putting in things like, oh, the subcontractor didn't deliver the items on time or the supplies on time, that should never make the construction go that much overdue. Sure, maybe a month. I could understand that, but not a year, not 6 months. So you really have to make sure that you get your lawyer to put these points into your contract. And also developer penalties. That's a really important one. You want to make sure that if someone says they're going to have it delivered, you let them know that they need to have it delivered by that time. Otherwise, they're going to have to pay you. And also according to how much you were going to rent it out for. Now, you might be saying, well, I wasn't going to rent it out. I was just going to hold on to it. Well, it doesn't matter. If you were still going to rent it out, and in the case that you were going to, do something with it, maybe even resell it, then you would still have to put in that contract what you would want your penalties to be. Okay. Also, when it comes to, anything that, of course, size, you want to make sure that you get the size that you are saying. So when it comes to variation in size of the unit upon delivery, okay, you want to make sure that you don't say, oh yeah, okay, my unit's all right if it's 50 square meters smaller. No, you have to make sure that you say to them, what I am ordering is what I'm getting. It shouldn't be 50 square meters smaller. You put that in your contract, and remember to also look at your contract and make sure that the developer does not go in on the contract and say, oh, if something breaks down, plumbing or something, it's only good for 3 to 6 months. The law says 1 year guarantee. 1 year. So make sure you look at that on your contract as well. Guys, don't get caught up in the horror stories, please. There's many of them out there, and you can protect yourself just by these 5 points. These 5 points. I'm going to say them again. The contract language, force majeure, developer penalties, 1 year guarantee, agreed to versus delivered unit size. All right, guys. I got this article today from Dominican Today. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. You're awesome. If you enjoyed this information, please take a moment to subscribe. Subscribing and liking the video, those are little things to you that can be big things to me on my channel, and I really appreciate it if you could do that. Alrighty, guys, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful weekend. Today's Friday. The weather is nice right here in the Dominican Republic, and I'm going to cool max and relax today. I hope you're going to enjoy your day too. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blessings.